we start out like this? Is this how we just gonna start?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we just got to do what we do. You know how we do.
Talking about Cayman.
Ain't no sense in being no different.
Huh? Can I tell you something though before we start? You're looking younger. What's happening?
Really? I'm
Cayman
going in
button.
reverse, baby.
Cayman button.
There it is. The Cayman. Hold on.
You got, you got that. I bet you ain't got this though, huh?
What is that?
That's a little cognac. This is, Jesus made this all himself, kept. It makes the tea better.
They ain't breaking off no check.
It does. It does. Dana said they're not breaking off no check, so ixnay on that. But I'm still going. It's all right.
Right. Don't even start giving nobody no props if they ain't breaking off a piece of change. So you
not near piece of prop, brother. Do you know how good it is? Do you know how good it is to see you? And you know, I've been waiting. I ain't got nothing to do, so I be waiting to these opportunities to put makeup on and stuff. So,
right. Hey, I be waiting to put my clothes on. How about that?
Clothes.
I don't put on no good clothes. Look, I was upstairs shaving and taking a shower like I was going somewhere.
Me too. Yeah, I was going. Dana's here. He's about to say something smart, but okay. He says,
what you gonna say, Dana?
Well, he said we haven't been wearing hard clothes since we've been home. You know what hard clothes are? Like jeans that you just got out the clean, you just brand new.
Right, with that starch in it.
But like tights and sweatpants and no bra, stuff starts shifting when you don't wear hard clothes. I wore clothes for 4 months.
Hey, Avery, that gravity takeover be pulling that stuff down. You ain't got nothing to hold it in place.
Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot?
Can you tie them in a bow?
Can you throw them over your shoulder? Huh? If there's a witness out there somewhere, I need to see some hearts. Huh? If you know what I'm talking about. I've been feeling good. I was talking to somebody earlier today, Michael Collier, who is absolutely nuts. And he was like, niece, you look great. I said, let me tell you why. I've been sleeping for 4 months. 4 months we've been sleeping. So I bet.
Like Rip Van Winkle over there joint up.
Listen. Brother, tell me something good. Look, I come on your show and I just take over. I'm sorry.
Hey, I was already expecting it. I've been waiting for it all day.
Me? Wait a minute. So then why the flyer have June on it?
Did it have June on it?
June 21st.
Hey, you know what? I don't want to get to the point where we rush into August. You know what I mean? So I try to back us up a little bit. I'm trying to really get back into 2019 while you're faking.
You're telling the truth. I was just looking at something. I was like, we've been home since March 13th, 14th.
Yeah. And you know, like, and I was talking to my wife earlier. I said, man, you remember we was out here walking on the trail and you know, they had shut down school for 2 weeks to clean it up, and then the kids was gonna go back to school. They've been home ever since.
Ever since. They trying to get them to go back.
And they ain't going back.
In Georgia, they on some. We don't care.
What Deacon doing? What Deacon doing back there?
We're gonna pump COVID through the we're gonna have it coming out the sprinkler system, and so everybody just meet back at the schoolhouse. How is it that we don't?
Let me ask you something, because I know, you know, this conversation gonna go in a whole bunch of different places. But you know, like, I saw you was mad yesterday, and I'm mad too.
I was hot. Yes,
man, it's still hot. Here's what I can't figure out. This is what I can't figure out. We see a nice, fine car that comes from another country, right?
Uh-huh.
We want to drive that car.
Uh-huh.
We adopt that car.
Yeah.
We see resources that come from other countries.
Uh-huh.
We want those resources to make our lives better.
Uh-huh.
So how is it that some of these countries got COVID almost down to a 0, and we got the highest rate? Why can't we adopt some of those principles to help fight this stuff? It's too much. There's no unified voice when it comes to COVID.
And what's so interesting about what you said, at some point we all have to say, there is a moron at the White House, an imbecile. So in whatever he says, do the opposite.
Right.
I mean, it's just, I mean, we went to, I don't know, I had no business in there, but I needed something real fast from the grocery store. There are people walking around with nothing on, talking. They in groups, they huddled up talking. Child, what you going? What?
Hey, did you see the old lady on the news that they were showing?
No.
Man, she walking with somebody, ain't wearing no mask. They said, I'm calling the police. He said, call them.
But I think we've had so many people say that it's not real, it's not this, it's not that. Let me tell you this. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is I'm not going to test it. I don't want to try to figure out whether it's real or not. I'm going to stay at the house and let them figure this out while we're being safe. Or just wear a mask. So wait a minute. I actually posted about the mask, and then we got to get back to yesterday because I'm still hot. But somebody said those masks with the valves on them. I talked to a healthcare professional, and I'm sure that people know. They said the ones with the valves, they protect the person that has the mask on. So it filters the air that's coming in. But what you exhale, it does not filter that. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't. You know what? Avery, I've heard so many different things. Now I'm hearing that COVID can come through the air conditioner. But it's 90-some degrees outside. I ain't turn my air off.
936 degrees. Anything that's outside. I looked outside and the deer was. We're gonna have deer pie tonight. It is hot. But I feel like we don't know what to believe. And I think that's what's so tragic. We just don't know what to believe. And what I do know is, let me get back to yesterday. The governor, for those of you who don't know, and I'm sure y'all do know, the governor of Georgia not only sued our mayor last week, but filed an emergency injunction to have her silenced. So now, but this is the same narrative, right? As soon as we get a little, now we're gonna lock you up. We're gonna keep you quiet. We're gonna. I mean, it's just so blatant.
Yeah.
Cayman is so blatant that they're trying to eradicate us. This is exactly why lately I stay prayed up. I have communion every day.
Hey, Avery, we get out of the house, you might need a meeting.
I hope not. I hope not.
You're going to need a meeting to go to.
I hope not.
But this thing done got a mess. I like that Donnell Jones you got on up there. That thing look good on you.
But if you, listen, I had to do that. Thank you, brother. Come on, talk about how good the Lord is. But let me tell you, my hair is so long, and that's another show. That'll be the comedy hour. And you know what? And if the people, if they do right, I might take this hat off so y'all can see what it looks like. I swear, you ain't never seen nothing like it. My hair has just been growing straight since March. Ain't been cut, ain't been dyed. I got all kinds of gray all up in here. It's actually beautiful. It's just out of whack. I don't know how to even do hair anymore. You know, my hair's been short for so long, so it's.
Right. I was about to say, you should have stuck to this. When I first met you, you looked like this.
I sure did. I might go back to that.
Yeah. Let Dana cut your hair. Just do the reverse. You cut his hair, cut your hair.
We're not going to do that. You saw the nice heart I put in the back of his head?
Yeah, I saw that. You're nasty for that. That's just nasty.
He wasn't pleased.
Right.
He wasn't pleased. He all right, though. He's sweet.
Well, he ain't going nowhere, no way.
No, he ain't going nowhere. He the sweetest thing. He's the sweetest thing to me. He hates that when I say that he's a sweet man, but I am grateful that I have a sweet husband. Now, he knows how to put the hammer down when it's time, but I appreciate that I have a husband who is tender and kind, and he's good to me. I'm grateful. Now, let me be clear, though. Quarantine has tested that.
Yeah, you gotta know who you stuck in the house with, you know, because quarantine done opened up some realness. That's why I'm glad I love my wife. Cause Lord Jesus.
I'm glad you said. I'm glad I like my husband, because of course you love him, but I'm glad I like him, because I'm telling you, one day it had been like 4 or 5 days and we hadn't done anything. We were just in like a funk, and I woke up before he did, like I normally do, and he's snoring, and something told me, you don't have anything else to do. Why don't you just elbow him real hard and see what happens?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't do it. I thought about it though. That just means I ain't got nothing to do. I should have my behind on that Peloton downstairs running for Jesus.
You got one of those?
You're in the house for a certain amount. You start just, I don't know.
Do you ever go out and take a drive or something?
You know, we did do that. We did that today. We did it today. And then it started raining a little bit, but it does feel good to get out. And that's what I saw. I don't know if you saw a post. We were riding on 7585 South, and a young lady, I couldn't get her attention, of course, because she was driving. She had Breonna Taylor on her window. Had it
I saw that. I saw
those kinds of things, those reminders remind us we can't forget. We can't get comfortable.
Yeah, you're right.
We got to stay in the fight. I'm grateful that there's new music. I'm grateful that people are doing new things, but we can't get comfortable. Don't want to hear about Kanye. Don't care. Want him to go and get some help. It's a distraction. Yeah, that is a distraction. Right. We want his family to take care of him and get him together. But we got a bigger thing going on here, and we cannot forget. We got to vote. Let's talk about John Lewis. Let's talk about C.T. Vivian. Let's talk about these people who have paved the way for us to even have the opportunity to vote. God bless Will and Jada. I don't care. Huh?
Right. Come on now. Come on. Let me give you a round of applause for that. Come on, somebody. And I'm going to say amen since we have an R&B church. Amen. Yes.
All of that stuff.
We don't care about that mess. But you know what? One point that you brought up, and this is something that I talked about on the air earlier, was the power. It's the power of words.
Yes.
You know, words are very powerful, and people say words don't hurt, but they actually do. Now, watch something that Kanye did and something that he said. We only focused on the part about Harriet Tubman, which was hurtful within itself.
God knows.
But 2 companies actually suffered as a result of some things that Kanye said. He has partnerships with Gap and Adidas,
right?
Just got in a partnership June 26th with Gap to launch a new clothing line. Now, Gap has been in a hole for a long time, filing for bankruptcy. Now Kanye says, I'm not on the board for either one of these companies. If it doesn't change, I'm going to walk. Gap stock went from here to down here.
Lord.
All the words. Sunday night to Monday morning, and these stocks going down as soon as it opens. Words are powerful.
And that kind of power, it must make you feel like you can decide to run for president and just say whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want.
Because not only was the Harriet Tubman remark wrong, hurtful, it was just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just wrong.
It's wrong.
Just wrong. And from the
and especially in the climate that we in right now.
Come on, man.
That's a mess. And one thing that I'm upset about too, Avery, while we venting, is that all of these people who took through the streets globally to march and to protest, and now we right back to shooting and killing again.
Yes. Look, the little
like that.
The children that are, they're saying homicides have gone up. There are twice as many homicides now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to stay close as I can to something Dana has been saying. He said, I'm trying to stay close. He said, my Black self. And he said his Black wife, his Black family, and his Black community. And that's going to be our focus. Because all of this other stuff is so heavy. Like yesterday, I'd watched so much news, read so much of the paper that I felt like it was insurmountable, that there was nothing that was going to I felt almost like there was nothing that I could do. I almost felt, Cayman, like, me and Cayman shouldn't even talk. What are we going to talk about? This stuff is so heavy. It's so sad. It's just so, people dying here. What is happening? And then I happened to be listening to, I think it's Quake's house. Dana and I were in the car, and he was like, we got enough to cry about.
Yeah,
we
right.
need to figure out a way to smile and laugh. And
yeah.
I realized how important it was for us to have these conversations. Yeah, we talk about the real stuff, but we still take the time to laugh. The thing that helps us get up in the morning and move on, and whatever that thing is. I've been dealing with that a lot, even in creating. Like, people don't want to hear me write another love song and then my boo rubbing on my back, and nobody want to hear that.
You'd be surprised. Everybody want to love somebody.
And that is the truth, Cayman. That's the truth. And that's what I needed to be reminded of. And that there is a way for us to still be creative. And there's still a way for us to stay in the fight too. So we have, like we said, we have these conversations. We talk about how it makes us feel. We talk about what it looks like. And then we still keep moving. We can't not live. My mother, who loves you so much, you know that, she'll be 83 in November. And she said, I'm going to live till I'm dead, Denise.
You got to love that, Mama Sunshine. I love that. I'm going to live till I'm dead.
I'm going to live till I'm dead. So that's right. I'm going to live.
But that's the truth, Avery. And when you think about it,
yes.
And that's one of the things that I really want to applaud you on, is how true you stayed to your gift. You didn't travel outside of your lane. Even though we had these conversations about how some people like, I don't like none of your songs. I love your voice. But, the message in your music is pure.
Oh, brother.
You know what I mean? And I applaud you for that. Because we done sang some songs. We done put choirs together in the studio, And that See You When I Get There. And, it meant something different to me, but you had to break it down to me.
Yeah, I love it.
You go your way, and I go mine, and I see you when I get there.
Huh?
I'm going to do what I do. This is my gift, not yours.
Absolutely. It's so funny when you talk about, and I'm grateful, I'm honored, and I thank you for always sharing your space with me and sharing me with the folk And it just means a lot to me. But I have to say that, however, all I'm doing when I'm telling these stories or singing these songs, I'm just being as honest as I can be. And that's the only way I feel like I can live. That's the only way I feel like and back to what we were saying earlier, that my music and my gift will matter, is if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And I had a little bit of a moment, Cayman, after Call My Name came out. And it did really, really well. And the label that we were working with, partnered with at the time, was like, okay, look, can you write some more songs like that? Can you write some more songs like that? What kind of damn question is that? So I was getting a little weird with this whole industry thing. Like, if that's what it's about, where people are telling me what I should communicate, how I should communicate it. Right. I don't know if I can do this, but I'm thankful to you, to my family, to the people who support, who knew nothing about all that, but supported the show, supported the music still. And again, reminded me that my voice, just like everybody's voice is just important as each. I always talk about this, the fingerprints that are on as different as these fingerprints are on each, they're all necessary.
They're all necessary.
All different, but all necessary. And I'm reminded over and over again that my voice is just important as yours. And everybody who's on here right here, your voice is just important as the next person who are Evan 65. Your voice is just important as Cotton Candy and Spencer Nylene. Your voice is just is important. So whatever that thing is, whether you're on an IG live with Cayman or you doing IG live at the house with the kids, your voice is just as important. What you have to say is important and is needed. So you're right. Kanye, you can talk about Harriet. I tell you what I do know. She was freeing folks.
Right. It don't matter who they work for after that. They was free.
Who else was that? But who was they going to work for at the time?
Right. It wasn't no black businesses. What's up, Major? Girl, you crazy. But you know what, Avery? And to that point of what you just said, everybody's voice matters. Yeah. And that was, you know, that was something that I struggled with within myself, actually. Wow. Because, you know, people would always say, man, you got a story that you have to tell. And I said, ain't nobody interested in my story, you know, because I didn't come from the streets. Yeah. My parents have been married for 51 years starting next month. I never abused alcohol. I ain't never been on drugs.
Yes.
None of that stuff. I don't have like that underdog story. Started from the bottom downhill. You know
that was very nice. Thank you. Please, people, I don't abuse alcohol. I promise I don't.
But look, I'm going to show you something that I've been working on.
No, but Cayman, that is real. And I'm glad that you said that, especially when I talk to my sisters and my whoever, and they talk about ain't no men out there and ain't no, I'm telling you, they do exist. They are there. Cayman is one. My husband is another. You know them. We know them. And so thank you for your example, brother. Thank you for being exactly who you are. You have no idea what you mean to me and my family.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, you do.
I know that because you put me on your song. But look, this is what I wanted to share with you. I finally told my story.
Are you kidding me? I can't see it from your sister's backwards. $1 million dream. Did you say from $6 an hour to $1 million dream?
Yeah. I wrote the book.
Kidding me?
Yeah, I did.
Can I do arts myself? Okay, I don't know how to do. Would y'all please? Somebody said, and see, look, she said not good single ones. Crystal DJ 50. There are good single ones. I guarantee you. Wait. I promise you work on yourself and you will attract. You will attract the right thing. I am a witness. I was in the wilderness. Huh? And God sent me someone so wonderful and kind. I didn't get it right the first time. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But that's another thing. I got to get back to my brother. You got a book? My brother's
a book,
Arthur. I said Arthur.
Yeah.
Published Arthur? Cayman, how long did you start? I mean, like, can you tell us a little bit about the process?
Well, I worked on this for about 2 years. This is my proof copy right here, so I'm going to be releasing it soon. I haven't set a release date, but I tell my story about how I started off in major market radio making $6 an hour. And, you know, the naysayers and the haters that came along with the journey. And how I hustle. But then I talk about how important it is to network and how my wife is my biggest cheerleader that pushed me into doing what I'm doing now as an entrepreneur. And you remember the beginning when I came home to work years ago.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You know, like I've been closing big deals in the voiceover world and all that stuff. So I tell my story about how to stay focused and follow your dreams and your path. You go your way, I go mine, and I'll see you when you get there. Amen, somebody. Amen.
Do you know how amazing it is to know that I am inspired. I needed to hear you say that.
Oh, thank you.
Because I just need, and I don't know how many people needed to hear that. In whatever age you are, whatever stage you are in your life, it's never too late to tell your story, to start something new, to do whatever that thing is. Not to get back to see you when I get there, but that's what it's all about. You do the thing that God has called you to do. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you've been through. If you just speak it, everything just kind of comes. The very thing I was saying to the young lady about not saying that there are no single men. Don't even let that come out of your mouth. No good single men. Don't let it come out of your mouth. Just move the way you're supposed to, and God will give you what you need. Can you not say that happened to you, brother? That you just started working and everything you needed just came to you?
It did. It absolutely did. And you know, and Avery, you know, you won't say this about yourself, but you're a living example of that too. I still remember the very first day that we met years ago. By chance, Deborah Bond introduced me to you, and she said, "This heifer can sing. She can sing her tail off." And then as you walked away, I said, "No, she still got tail, so she can't sing."
Thank you for that. You ain't lying. And my ass has turned into a bundt cake since I've been home. Just a straight bundt cake.
So
but
I remember listening to your stuff. You know what? And I remember listening to your stuff, and I said, "Oh, this stuff is amazing." So I said, "Man, I got to find a way to start playing this stuff on the radio." And you remember, I was just thinking earlier about how many fun moments that we have had.
Yeah.
And, you know, like just the history that we've created over the years.
Yes.
And when you and Dana came to New Orleans and we was doing that broadcast at Essence, and I said, "Y'all hang out right here." You know, because I know the schedule changed. You know, people drop off and we got holes in there. So I remember asking BJ, I said, "Man, can we bring Avery and Dana up here?" He was like, he said, "All right." So I said, "Y'all, come on.
That's what he did.
And man, you just have such a way of connecting with a crowd. And I remember I said, "Y'all show some love for Avery Sunshine," and the clap sounded like this. And I said, "Y'all better show her some love now, because when she blow up, y'all gonna be sweating her." And when you got on that stage and you started playing your song, and then you morphed that thing into "Sweet Love" by Anita Baker. In my headphones, you know, I could hear BJ talking to me. So he said, "Damn, Cayman." And I said, "Man, I told you, just trust me. I know what I'm talking about." So, I mean, you just got that thing about you. You know what you remind me of? You remind me of a modern day Big Mama. Because we don't have no more Big Mamas, but you got that spirit of a Big Mama. The hugs, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," all of them things. You like a grand.
I honor that. I thank you for that. You hear me? Thank you. And I mean, the Big Mama. You hear me? Praise God for it. Brother, thank you. Thank you, though. Thank you for this. Y'all see us acting crazy, but this is like real. We're like this all the time. It's not we putting on for IG and so.
No, sir. Not at all.
This is what we do. That's why.
About so many moments that we have shared.
Church.
Over the years. I think about. And look where you have come. Look where you've come from. You done been at Aretha Franklin's house, performing for her birthday party.
I didn't get to her house, but she invited me twice in 1 year.
Right.
To sing for her, which was bonkers.
Oh, man. That's the queen of soul. And remember that time we was on the cruise, right? And you said, "Reverend," remember we was in Ocho Rios and we was on the bus, and you said, "Reverend, I know I meant to tell you something." And I said, "What, Avery?" And you said, "I was in the dining hall and I was leaving out and I heard this voice say, 'Avery?'" And you said, and I turned around, it was freaking Patti LaBelle.
Remember that? Do you remember that? The story is crazy. You remember me telling you, because we were, me, Eric Roberson, his wife, and Dana, we were all at another table, and she came and sat with her whole group at the table across from us, and I'm sitting there, I feel like I turned to stone when she sat down. I was like, and I said, Eric, Patti LaBelle is over there. What are we gonna do? And everybody was looking at me like, what's the problem? Why don't you just get up? I sat there so long that she sent someone over to my table to tell me to come and say hello to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did y'all hear what I just said? If I had a patty pie right now, I'd throw it against the wall. Do you hear me? And then I think a couple of years later, I had the opportunity to what is it? I love you, honey. I love you. I do more than you. For her, to honor her here in Atlanta, BMI, y'all have no. And the fact that I am from Chester, PA, 9 miles of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Her voice was one of the voices I heard on WDAS all the time. Sunday mornings when my mom was doing hair in her beauty salon. That's if Soul Train wasn't on, she would turn on DAS, and I would, I'd hear, Patty singing. I'd be standing in the mirror singing with Mommy's curling iron. I love you. Who knew that I would be doing this for her, singing for her, honoring her? So I know that.
You know what's so amazing about that? What's so amazing is how Miss Patty and the Queen of Soul has embraced the younger generation of talent.
Yes, yes.
Because it's still surreal. It's still surreal to me that I got this when social media really started taking off, and I never really used it like that. Yeah. I saw a tweet one day that came from Afro, that's always with Patty, and said that Patti LaBelle is listening to your show right now, and I was like, this ain't real. And
wait a minute, sir. Cayman, let me bless you. Let me bless you real quick. I just got to do it real quick. First of all, I got to say my buddy Bobby is on here. Bobby, I love you, my Chester sister, my best friends. But she's on here. But I have to tell you all this. So a couple weeks ago, I got a text from an amazing lady. Her name is Sheila E. And she says, listen, I was listening to Cayman Kelly, and I heard.
Are you serious?
I saw it. I'm here to call you and tell you that I'm gonna send you the text. I was listening to Cayman Kelly, and I heard that's all I saw after that. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. What?
Yeah, because you usually tell me when moments like that happen. Remember you met the young lady in the mall?
Sure.
Like,
oh my!
I ain't supposed to be in here, but that don't matter. Man, that was so touching to me. I just ran across that the other day, and I watched it again.
You have to send that to me because I don't have it anymore.
Really? I'm gonna send it. Yeah, I still got it. Because, like moments like that really kind of get you out of your funk sometimes.
They surely do.
Yeah, because, most of the time I'm by myself doing what I do. So I don't really get to touch. That's why I really enjoy this platform, because we're not sitting in front of people anymore. So I don't get to connect with anybody. So you're like, man, I hope I'm doing a good job. I hope I'm putting my best foot forward. So moments like that, when I listen to that message, it does something to hear for me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
I almost forgot. But you are right. I when we do the and I'm thinking about doing another live from the crib, and I just wanted to. It was as fulfilling as it was to read the comments after, because it's hard for me to read when it's going on. I was. While I was in it, like you said, I don't get to hear the people's voices and people talking back to me. And also I'm like, oh my God, is it whack? Do I sound crazy? Oh Lord, I ain't doing this, man. I can't feel the energy. Afterward, I find that people are like, yes, it was good. Just relax, But I'm grateful for our genuine relationships, so we're able to tell each other things like this and so into each other. Who knew? I almost forgot about that with that young lady.
I know you did, but I ain't forget. I just ran across it. I love stuff like that.
Why you turned into the uncle? I know you did, but I ain't forget.
Right, I ain't forget. That's what you got turned into uncle, because I might look young, but I ain't young.
You're younger than me, though. But you're younger than me, right? I'm 45. I turned 45.
Oh, yeah, I'm 21. So, yeah, I'm younger than you.
Lies!
Yeah, no, I'll be 48 in September.
Are you kidding? Brother, you do look like you look like a tenderoni 31, 32.
Really?
You do. You look, I'm trying to tell you, Cayman Button.
Look, I still got to sit on the side of the bed before I throw these feet on the floor in the morning, though.
Wait.
Let's not get it twisted.
I thought it was just me. I call myself, when something happen when you hit 40, I swear you can't jump up and go piss. You got to jump up. You got to sit up. And you got to turn. And then you got to think. And you got to put one foot out. And then you got to think some more. And then you put the other one out. And then you think again. And then you do like this. You lean back and go. I used to talk bad about my daddy, God rest his soul.
Right.
There is a process to getting up to go pee. Who knew?
Man, you ain't never lied. When you look at older people, you like, you don't take all that. It's mind over matter. You don't hurt that man. You got to be all that grunt.
Wait, Dana said that he got in the car today, and he got in the car and he sat down. He went like this. He went, I was like, what? He said, yeah, you know, baby, I'm almost 48. You know you're old when you sit down in the car and you got to go,
Man,
what's the noise?
Hey, Avery, the best joke I saw about that was Cedric the Entertainer. So he was talking about, you know, you get old when you got a friend that got two names like Willie Earl, right? So he's talking about Willie Earl. You know, when you get back in the car, you got to go like this. Hold on, let me see if you can see me. You got to reach back. I holler at y'all, and you got to reach back and kind of
reach round. You got to reach round.
Yeah, you got to reach around there and touch the chair before you sit down.
That is the truth. I used to talk. I know you did too. Talk trash about. I ain't doing it no more.
Right. No.
And if you see me reach around, and sit down to find the chair before I sit down.
Hey, Avery, it's retch around. That's when you doing that shit's retch around.
Retch around.
Retch around there. Retch around there.
Retch around. Retch around. That is horrible. They know them. They know what we talking about though.
Right. Man, this time passed by too fast. You want to sing a song? Go ahead and wet your whistle.
I mean, where do you come from? Wet my whistle.
Where do you come from? Where did you go?
There was, remember that song? Wet my whistle. Remember that song?
Yeah. Wet my whistle.
You remember that? Have you heard?
Wilson. Right. Hey, Isabella in Dubai. What you gonna sing, Avery?
I don't know. I don't even know what. Because I didn't test the room. I just was sitting here because I thought it was cool. But does it sound? Can you hear it? I'll just do a little bit. So for everybody, not to change the mood completely, but I'm sure you all know Cayman lost his grandma. It's been a few weeks ago at this point, right? Almost a month, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to honor, so I sent all my love, brother, and still, because we know what that's like. If anybody who has lost anyone, or we pray with you, we pray for you. I lost my daddy a year and so ago, and Dana and I were asked to do a song in honor of the 100,000 lives that were lost to COVID. So we were asked to do the song, and at the same time, George Floyd was murdered. So for like 3 or 4 days, Dana and I are completely paralyzed, as the rest of the world was, right? And we're like, what in the name of God? How are we going to write a song about the folks whose lives have been lost to COVID when our Black lives are being lost to police brutality? And so then we started writing, and then I thought of the healing that, you know, that I still needed from my dad's transition, and the healing that we all needed. And then it got bigger than that. How about the healing that all of the folks needed who lost someone during this time, who aren't able to memorialize their family members, you know, so I just want to sing a little bit of this in honor of your Grandma Kelly, my daddy, and to everyone in honor of Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, all those lives lost, and just a little bit of this song, and it just says, I hope you say that I was the life of the party, the first one there and the last one out the door. And I hope you say that I never met a stranger, and when you'd say I love you, I'd say I love you more. Will you play my favorite song and my picture on the wall? Mention me in prayer. How will you remember me? How will you remember me? How will you remember me? I'm your brother. I'm your loved one. How will you remember me? Will you put my name in a song and sing it all day long? Yeah. Will you feel me in the air? How will you remember me? Will you save or see for me? Tell all my stories, let the world know that I was here. Yes. How will you remember me? How will you remember me? How will you remember me? Oh, brother, don't do that.
Lord have mercy.
No, don't do that. It's just a little, you know. I mean, I don't know why I sang that. I broke out into a sweat. But you know, I wanted a song that was not. I hope it wasn't. I hope it is not sad, but that it inspires us and reminds us to that the memories that we have.
Yeah,
That's how they say. You know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sitting here fighting back tears. Really.
Wow. Don't do that to your sister, please, brother. I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. Hope they're good tears, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, y'all can't like this, man. I had Alvin Garrett on here, who's a heck of a songwriter.
Yes, yeah. Cornbread, they used to call him cornbread.
Yeah, man. I sat here and broke down crying because he sent me a song a while back. And, you know, I think, gosh, Avery.
No, brother. We have to do that. It's fresh. It's so new and fresh. And I didn't know how to process when I was doing my dad's transition. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I had never lost anybody close to me like that. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to help other people. I didn't even know how to tell my husband how to be there for me because I was so broken, Cayman. I was so broken. And then it wasn't until my father's memorials where people were talking about him and they were smiling and they were telling stories and laughing. And then I heard my daddy's voice and all these people, and I saw his smile and all their faces, and I was reminded that he is still here. And it is the strangest thing. It's the strangest thing. I am the most miraculous thing is to find peace even in the midst of all that. So even in your tears, I hope that you know that that's her, all in your tears and all in that goodness and all in that. Even in the morning, shoot, we're human, so we have to do that. But I wish I could hug you right now because you know Big Mama will hug. She will hug you and say, "Oh, baby, it's gonna be all right. You want some knees?
Yeah,
pat your back real hard because you know old people hit your back real hard. Baby, you gonna be all right." You're like, "All right, I ain't crying no more now. You didn't beat me out my back."
Yeah, because them tears be flowing, you know, and it's been kind of back to back for me because my grandmother, you know, when we saw each other in North Carolina, my grandmother from Kinston, she passed December of 2018. So it's been a little year and a half or so. And then for this one to pass, you know, like in the same type of way, you know, and both of them,
they were a big part. I know.
Yeah, they meant so much to me, you know.
Yes.
And there's been times when I don't think that I've properly grieved.
Yeah.
You know, because it's such a process to it. And I remember reading this book years ago because I was close to my great-grandmother, too. I grew up with great-grandparents.
Wow.
Great-grandfather, great-grandmother, and another great-grandmother on my father's side.
That's an honor, Cayman. That's an honor.
Yeah. So, you know, like history repeated itself. And my kids who are sitting here, two of my sons, Trey and Chase are sitting here with me now. So they grew up. Avery said, "Hey guys."
Hi.
So they you know, they had the pleasure of growing up with grandparents as well.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people don't get to experience that.
Yes.
So my great grandmother and I were really close, and she got sick with Alzheimer's when I was about 12. She didn't pass until I graduated from college. So, you know, all of those years just sitting there, just watching her, and I couldn't talk to her anymore, you know, because she didn't realize who I was.
Exactly.
So, you know, when she passed, I spoke at her funeral. Here we are, years later. I'm a grown man, and I'm reading this book. So this book was dedicated. It was a voiceover book. So all the big voiceover guys wrote a chapter in this book. And the question was, what do you do if you lose your voice and you can't speak anymore? Whew. So all the proceeds from this book went to Alzheimer's. So one night I'm driving home, Avery, and I'm thinking about this book that I had read. And I had to pull over on the side of the road because it was a flood. And I said, where did all of that come from, like all of these years later? And I realized that I hadn't grieved properly, you know, because it's a process to it. You know, and this lady that I knew that I worked with at BET, her name's Miss Pat. Miss Pat told me one day, she said, Doc, she's always called me Doc. She said, Doc, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. She said, now, you know, there's a process to grieving. She said, let me explain something to you. She said, if you went outside right now and your car had a flat tire on it, would you just pull up a chair and sit there and wait for it to pump itself back up? And I said, no, ma'am, I wouldn't. She said, you have to call somebody or you got to take a tire out the car and replace it, right? Because there's a process. She said, it's the same thing with grieving. You just can't sit there and watch it go away. There's a process to actually making it happen.
Wow, you're teaching today.
Amen, somebody.
No, you're teaching today. You're teaching today. Thank you, because of all the people who are saying in here that they've dealt with it, and I need to hear that. You know, even that is, wow, there is a process. I have never heard it described in that way, and now I'm gonna think about it. If you would get a flat tire,
right? You're just gonna sit there and watch it pump itself back up. It ain't gonna happen. You know, and that's what the loss of a loved one, a job, anything that you lose, you know, requires grieving. And, you know, like another thing that she said, if you don't express those emotions, sometimes if you feel like you need to cry, you got to let that stuff out. Otherwise, it's going to come out in different areas of your life. You can make yourself physically sick.
Yes. And for women,
that stuff down.
And for women especially, excuse me for cutting you off, a lot of us end up internalizing that sadness, the anger, the disappointment, and it manifests in fibroids, you name it. And Iyanla Van Zant would say something so beautiful. I don't know if you guys watch her or listen to her, but she would say, give it sound. Give your pain sound. And I remember when I cried for real when Daddy died, I actually had to holler. And because, you know, when you holding a cry, all of this gets tight.
Yeah, and it hurts.
It hurt. It actually hurts.
Yeah.
And the moment that you go, for however long you need to do it, it is the most amazing feeling. Yeah. I have to, because you talked about your great grandparents and the honor of being able to be with them. And I was not able to be with all of my great grands. I only met one great grand. And ironically, so why are we doing this today? What's happening? I've been in the house too long.
Lord have mercy.
So Cayman, you have a book, right?
Yeah.
So while we've been home, I decided there's some things that I hadn't done, and I'm going to do it. And people always ask me about my lipstick and my makeup and all. So I said, I started about a year or so ago working on my cosmetic line, my beauty line.
Oh, nice.
And brother, we got all the stuff in a few weeks ago. We haven't set a launch date because we want everything to be in line and all that. But I have named my beauty line after my great-grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And I named it after my great-grandmother because I would not wear red lipstick because I thought my lips were too big. And I saw a picture of her.
Mm.
She had no makeup on. She didn't have not a lash, not a piece of nothing on.
Mm.
Was happy, content, and I was inspired. Man, my lips ain't too big. My lips are beautiful with or without makeup. But I figured I would honor her by putting as much red lipstick I could on these big, full, beautiful lips. You hear me?
That's it.
So I honor my great-grandmother by honoring what I look like, honoring my hips, honoring the big mama in me.
Yeah.
So I was not able to I only was around her just a little bit of my life and hers. We do have some photos together, and when all this is, we'll launch all this stuff later this year. But I'll share that with you. I didn't go on. I'm gonna have some more tea because I didn't mean to do that. I didn't about to mess up. Look, you didn't mess me up talking about the grandparents and we.
Hey, you talking about messing up makeup? That's like that Fantasia moment that we had that went viral.
Could you not do this? Could you not do? Let me tell y'all something about my brother Cayman. So, and Dana doesn't like me to tell the real truth. The real truth is that Q Parker and I were doing a show together and coming to do an interview with you, and Q was late. Yeah. And we ran into Fantasia's time, and I don't like being late. And I was sitting over there. I was actually burning up on the inside, like, why are you late? And then when I saw Fantasia and her folks coming, I'm like, they're going to have to take them because our folks ain't here. So I'm sitting over there, and I'm quietly burning up and cussing and saying all kinds of good cuss words. I mean, I was doing my good cussing in my mind. I think I was texting cuss words to Dana.
It was all in my head.
All it was, And you said what you said, and then the next thing you know, I am in Sweden somewhere, and they're like, the song that you did on Cayman Kelly with Fantasia. Everywhere, brother. And let me tell you what else. I didn't want anybody to see that. Did I tell you that? I was like, I don't want anybody to see that. I wasn't in good voice, and I just was. But that is the song that people ask me to sing, and I'm grateful to the Tommies, to God rest his soul, Milton Brunson, and to Darius Brooks, the writer of that song, for allowing me to sing it in my way. I'm grateful. So
you came to my church and sang that song. You still got a hole in the floor. They haven't been able to repair.
Ain't no you know how to make it. You know how to make your sister feel good, don't you? Now I never knew that it would do. My mother asked me to do that song, put it on the album. I was like, I'm not gonna do that, and I did that, and it always centers me. It always brings me back and reminds me what I've come from. It reminds me, even in the midst of, it's just always fitting. It's always fitting.
Yeah. Yeah, you take it there, girl. That's that choir director that's built inside of you.
It's built inside. Show it.
Man. Avery, this time done passed by way too fast.
I mean, just way too fast. Why are you doing this?
I wanted people to get to ask you some questions and all of that stuff, man.
Look at my brother is on here talking about sing to that sauce. I don't know what you're talking about. People sending me. What are you talking about? Wait a minute, Cayman, are you reading the notes? Sahana said hi.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Okay, because I was going to say, they wasn't listening to our conversation. They was telling you to Sahana say hi. How you not going to listen and say, Karen said hey? So we talking about the Lord. That's
right, you're talking about the Lord. First line makes my chest pull. Lord Jesus. Make your chest pull. Now that's some songs right there, make your chest pull.
Make my chest pull.
Robo
my chest pull?
I can't log
Brother,
back in, Robo. Okay. Robo said, let's log back in.
Oh, it's gonna, you gotta log.
We got 3 minutes.
Huh?
I said, we got like 3 minutes left.
Okay. You want this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything I need. He lets me rest in the meadow's grass, yes. And God leads me through the quiet stream. God restores my failing hand, and He helps me to do what's got the most. That's why I'm safe. That's why I'm safe. That's why I'm safe. In God's arms.
Lord, I had to sit up here and hold myself.
I wanted to hurry because I know we got to. We'll do it for real at some point, y'all. Please, I'm gonna do another live because it's just time. I need everybody's energy, and brother, you might have to come on and say hello, and
Oh, I will.
Do it.
So I just got this note from my boys right here.
But they say, come on, it's time to eat.
They want you to shout them out. Trey and Chase, please shout them out.
Listen, everybody who's listening, I want y'all to make some noise, send some hearts to Trey and Chase right now. They got the coolest dad in the world, and they're the greatest kids. And I saw y'all swimming in the pool, and I think y'all was swimming better than Dad. Were they swimming better than you, Cayman?
Maybe. I got to swim under the water. I can't put my head out the top. I ain't got that skill down yet.
I love you, brother.
Lord,
brother,
well, we got 30 seconds. So I just want to say thank you. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. You already know. And thank you for making me cry and shed tears tonight and singing with us and all of that. If it wasn't no latency on here, I'd jump in and sing with you.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Next time we'll work on that. Dana got something working on. We can do a duet.
Okay, let's make it happen. 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please follow me here at Cayman Kelly, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care of yourself, family. One love.
Love you, brother.